Well, good morning, actually afternoon, from San Antonio, Texas, January 2nd. And the topic right now is cataclysmic events. So, Andrea, why don't you explain what that even is?
Well, if we're just gonna think about the weather, there are four catastrophic or cataclysmic events that we're used to, which would be like hurricanes, tornadoes, blizzards, droughts, and it seems like all of that is happening somewhere in the earth, especially in everywhere,
Exactly, and I kind of want to talk about, as a metaphor, a cataclysmic event to your life as it pertains to personal development or business development. Like a hard reset. What shakes you to the core? What puts you into a situation where you know, okay, I need to change, or I can change. It's an opportunity to change. A fresh start. For me, they have always been related to graduations. High school graduation, police academy, college, and location changes. Immigration to the US, a big one, and then also coming to Texas, a big one. That feeling that you just can leave everything behind you and you have an open slate, a clean slate, to create, to manifest. What was that for you?
Yeah, I think definitely going overseas and graduating was for sure a milestone, and that really did change my world, because I knew that I was prepared. It was like this closing of a certain chapter or journey that really gave way to another one. And I think that's very common for people who work hard for a certain type of education or degree. That piece of paper means a lot. It represents a lot. And people get to thinking. They really start to think about what the next step is. It is an event that shakes them up, because their routine, their schedule, their norm, their day-to-day, their operations are going to change. So I had to really start to examine and look at, okay, well, what's next? Where do I go from here? And am I positioned for it?
So what we talk about in terms of business and personal development is this opportunity that a person can create in their mind, that at any given moment they choose, they can create a cataclysm in their worldview. It's not easy, but it kind of is based on, it's all in your mind. And the reason that is a topic that I talk about and think about right now is because of the New Year's resolution, and so many people, including ourselves, see the passing of the old year and the beginning of the new year as this moment, this opportunity to start fresh and to finally start adhering to these intentions, these good intentions that we've had in the past and that we haven't really met.
Yeah, definitely a new year. So something cataclysmic is going to speed up the process of change. It's that last thing that you need for the ball to get rolling or to get even bigger, and that is it. It's the turn of a new page, writing a book, another 365, for sure.
But do you think it always needs to be a new year? Or can you create something in your mind? Can you wake up any day of your life and say, today is the day of change?
So the change agent for the masses, and it's the reason why I use the new year, is everyone's mindset changes. There is this atmosphere of change. You have it physically. You have these reminders that we're moving into 2022. You have literal fireworks and celebration. But has anything really changed other than a number that in the calendar that everyone uses to go by? No. But there is that connection to the brain. So if you can find something cataclysmic, like whatever firework that sparks you to move on to the next thing, or really go after whatever it is that your goal or your intention is, then no, you don't need a new year. But that is really depending on what you're using to stimulate yourself, whether it is the circle that you're involved in or the circle you want to get out of. That inner motivation to change has got to be there. And it just so happens that we're all spoiled with everyone acting the same way, thinking of the same thing. But you definitely don't need a new year to do that. You just need that inner firework, if you will.
Yeah. Well, I love what you say because it touches upon the idea of this collective brain, this collective that we can place ourselves in, that fosters and nurtures the change we seek. And it's really just another way of saying that you are the sum of your network, right? And that's why I like to immerse myself into communities that are an agent for change. I am a believer in mentorship programs and in groups such as Entrepreneurs Organization for us here in San Antonio that just act as an agent for change by being in a collective mindset. And that makes a lot of sense. And I want to invite all of you to see my social platforms as such a collective for you. I have such a strong drive and desire for ongoing change in improvement that I believe I can help drive that forward. If you want that, definitely keep in touch like that.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, you think of, so in the beginning when you asked me, my brain was clearly taking a different direction, but there are elements that do still apply, even if it's not the weather. That force. So the force of wind, or the tides, the wind, the water, the heat, the cold, all of these elements moving to create that hurricane or tornado or blizzard or whatever it is. And I mean, those so bad things can also move you and motivate you to do something as well. But you can surround yourself in an environment of positive change, positive forces working on you that can also move you to change. And unfortunately, people usually wait until some catastrophic life event happens, whether it be the nature physically or something going on internally, the death of a loved one, or the loss of a job, or something going on inside of their head, divorce, whatever it is. But you can also use the really good things, be inspired by friends or relatives, people that are opening new businesses or going after something different, making that career change in a positive way, or even physically when they're actually working out in the gym. And again, I love that you point out the platforms that you have made available for people to see as a positive catalyst in their life to drive them to change. And we are continuously involving ourselves with other entities that are doing the same, like Shubal Vision Elite, and that are putting on this great summit for chiropractors. And these kinds of things are opportunities for people to get on board that train and ride a good wave that's going to make positive change in their lives.
Well, and there's one last one that I'd like to talk about, which actually is one that someone mentioned who reacted to a post of mine on Facebook, and that is life partner changes or breakups. right? And that's very delicate conversation sometimes, because I am, for example, a person who was in a relationship where it was just, with my entrepreneurial nature and with my nature to drive and keep improving, that was not a good match. And now with you, it feels like we are so much on the same page. And for people who strive after entrepreneurial success, that is one of the most important aspects, as I have found, is that you work together, you understand each other, and you actually do together for the most part. Because it's really hard if one person keeps evolving and striving and going after goals, and the other person just can't keep up with it, feels left behind, or I don't know. So I don't know how you see that, of course, as someone who has really grown to be my number two, my co-leader in everything we do as Shanks, and it's just really an important topic. And breakups can definitely be cataclysms in a good way. They hurt. They're like a hurricane when they happen.
Yeah.
They hurt, turn everything upside down. Emotions are involved, feelings are involved. But once the storm has passed and things clear, you can kind of see that you have a new open canvas for potential that wasn't there before.
Yeah, very well said. The catalysts in your life are truly what you make out of it, because I do think that there are still some people who don't really move all of that much, because it's still about the mind and that willingness. And if you don't want to just be left with the bits after the storm, with pieces of wood all over the place and hurt and pain, then you have to get up and move forward and be launched, not just sitting down. So I agree. I do agree.
Well, it just so happens that we approach to La Panaderia in San Antonio, where we have our lunch on Sundays. Certainly not an agent of change in that regard, am I? I like to go have lunch on Sundays in the same spot. And most of the time Andrea is with me. How is it today, Andrea?
Yeah, I'm excited about this sandwich.
All right. Okay, guys and gals, I hope you make a great rest of your Sunday, and we'll see you again very soon, hopefully tomorrow. Bye-bye.